Birdie's Not BS back at you, back at it again. As you can see, I got my co-homie right now, Brice Butler, back with me. Brice, you and your sombrero are definitely welcome here on Birdie's Not BS, man. How you been doing, dude?
I'm good, man. You know, I got the top hat. I'm top hat fresh today. You know what I'm saying? Like my young Joe would say, polo deck fresh like Carlton, but I ain't lame though. So I'm feeling good today. How you feeling, bro?
I can't complain, man. I just want to. Have you played golf in this hat? I feel like even when I wear bucket hats, I can't quite nail my finish, but I feel like that one might help. No.
You know what's interesting? Like you just asked me that, and I think I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what I can do out there. It's hot out here, so I'm gonna try it.
The extra shade can't help. Well, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, I got Brice Butler back with me this week to help me answer your questions, our questions, the hottest topics in golf right now. And Brice, we got an interesting question this week we want to answer. Here we go. It's how can golf and patriotism evolve? Now, you and I, we knew the question coming into before we started recording. Now, this is a very tough question because, in my opinion, as a black man from Versailles, Kentucky, not Versailles people, I'm from Versailles, Kentucky. Let's get that out in the open. I don't know why people think it's Versailles. It's spelled the same, but I'm kidding. But where I'm from and what I've grown up, patriotism is the love of your country, right? That's how I define patriotism. I would assume you define it similar, Brice.
Yeah, I do. I agree, 100%.
Love for your company. But as we've seen since the events, I hate to use George Floyd's death as this timestamp. I hate that. I can't stand it. But we almost have to because it's kind of when people started listening and the conversation started to happen and shit started to kind of erupt. And when I look at the events that happened in the U.S. Capitol in January, they also cited that they were patriots. Golf, in the same vein, has had a interesting past and also needs to evolve. Now, we talk about this notion of patriotism, Brice. What have you noticed about patriotism or the definition or the skewed definition that people have used in the last probably year and a half to help them combat their social awarenesses?
You know, that's interesting. I have a question for you, Doug. Do you separate patriotism and racism?
Ooh, see, Brice gonna answer.
Because I think that is where most of like the issue with this topic is, right?
Right. That makes sense.
I like to say. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm trying to figure out how to answer your question. I'm still making faces, I feel like when I make faces, it helps me think better. So that's why I'm like...
Right. So go ahead and think while I answer your question. Because I just wanted to pose that question for you because I want to hear what you think about it. But I'm going to answer your question. So I think in America, let's just talk about where I'm from. I grew up in Georgia. You grew up in Versailles. I grew up in, north side of Atlanta, Gwinnett County, Norcross, Georgia. I think that patriotism means the same thing for all skin colors, but I think it's almost like this. My coach used to say this: I'm going to treat everybody fairly, but I'm not going to treat everybody equally. And what he meant was, Brice, you're not going to get away with some of the same things that Dak Prescott can get away with, or like Tony Romo can get away with, or Dez Bryant can get away with, Jason Witten can get away with. Now, you might be able to get away with some things that the guy below you can get away with, but you can't get away with, everybody can't get away with the same thing, right?
Okay.
And I think...
Interesting.
I think that is where we're at in America, because if you talk to a black person about patriotism and then you look at what happened in January, they're going to be like, most of these people that claim like they're for the country, they're not, because these people over here can get away with doing something like that. And then like us as a community as a whole, we can just protest something that we've been seeing for years and we're trying to get things changed. And, we're going to be met with more force. So I think
Clearly.
that is that is a encrypted question. We need more time to talk about that. That's a series. That's a series. That's not
It is.
25 minutes
But I
of a
feel like
podcast.
I feel like people are like, because I'm a patriot, I can act out in trying to better and save. It's their people are trying to protect and save their version of America, not the actual reality of America. And I think that's one thing, Brice, that even the game of golf is represented is people have a certain ideal and they'll go to the extremes to protect their reality. And that's what happened when those individuals decided to storm the Capitol and do some dumb shit and make a lot. If they was, let me say this out loud just so it's out. If had that been some black folk, everybody'd be dead. Let's just say that.
No,
black and brown people, all of them be dead.
That wouldn't even have happened.
They would have.
They wouldn't even got to the street.
No,
they wouldn't have even gotten up to the street.
Bro, they wouldn't have made it into D.C. proper. They would have been stopped at every. But anyway, look. But the thing is, and why I think this is important is golf, because a lot of those patriots, Brice, are the people that we have to give our money to. When we go to the golf course, how do we keep the politics out of golf when basically golf has always been a place where you can actually talk your shit with a condensed audience so they don't get out? You know what I'm saying? Like, golf provides this, the golf course can be this veil where you can go have those kind of conversations and nobody knows about it. Can't get caught.
Right. That has changed a lot. I mean, we're in the digital era now, bro. Like, we're in the era now where you can think I'm saying something off the cuff to my guy, but somebody over there recorded it and posted it. And, you don't even really have the context of what we were actually talking about. So you didn't really hear the finish of my conversation. You just got like a 30-second sound bite of what I said. And now I can't get a job. I can't even go to Target and all that. So I think that's thrown out the window. But some of that was kind of like what we talked about earlier. Trying to be more inclusive. Like, some people want to protect that exclusivity. Some people want to protect that I can go in this building and be what I want to be, because like when I'm out in that real world, I'm a CEO of this company. I got to be politically correct all the time. I don't have to do that in here. I can tell you the truth about, I'm not really down with this voting suppression law, or I am down with this voting suppression law, but I had to, because I'm the owner of, I'm just throwing randomly, I'm the owner of Delta, or I'm the owner of Target, or I'm the owner of Chick-fil-A. Like, I have to like show face.
You done brought Target up like 7
You know what I'm saying?
times.
Target takes care of the babies. You know what I'm saying? Target takes care of the babies. So I just show love. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Target. I need a deal. Holla at me. Call me. But anyways, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like it, it's kind of like, it's funny. It's like a thin line, right? On one end we talk about, we want inclusivity. We want more people to be involved. We want it to be accessible. But then on the other end, we're talking right now about, how can we protect certain things? Like, how can these people protect themselves, when it comes to politics, and politics in the game of golf, and politics, in life, politics, in the United States. So it's funny because that's something that is a thin line, because, on one side you're like, oh, like I'm gung ho about that. But then over here, like even me and you over here is like, bro, you can't do that. But then it's like, they can look at us and be like, well, I'm saying they, just anybody. I'm not saying white or black or whatever. But they can be like, well, you just said you wanted this from on this side. But then it's like, we need to write an addendum. We need 14A, 14B, 14C, 14D. So, it's never really like an easy, simple, black and white answer. So, yeah, I mean, we could talk about this all day, though. What do you think? Yeah. Tell me. I want to hear what you think.
I think golf has been so long one-sided, right? It's been very elitist. It's been very elitist, sexist, racist, exclusionary, whatever you want to say. But here's the thing. That ball don't know who's hitting it, and the course don't give a damn what skin color you are. So when I talk about golf and racism, it's a lot of the people I'm talking about behind the counter at the bag drop, leading the clubs, leading the efforts. And those are the people that I think it's almost time for some of those people to transition out and take on their new roles. And I think once this regime, and we're starting to see that at different clubs across the country, I work in golf, as the old guard is retiring, leaving, passing on to Jesus, we're starting to see a lot more cool cats, a lot more open
I don't know if
mindedness
all of
within the
them are
game.
passing on to Jesus.
No, I'm saying, but there's a few cats that's been out. Oh, fair. Fair.
Some of
So
them
we
ain't
all.
gonna pass on to Jesus.
But I think
Undertaker.
what sucks is that it takes time to make these changes. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
You can't just say we want or inclusivity in the game of golf and let's have it now. Like it's not how it works. And as a guy that's been playing this game for a long, long time and being a part of different discussions about diversity and inclusion in the game, I'm almost fed up with the consistent drum of we need to do this. Now it's time to put people from diverse backgrounds into positions in the industry that have hiring and firing power, decision making power, consulting power. That time is now, and I think when I think of the patriotism and people that love the country, where were the people that actually loved the country enough to stop this group of hooligans in January, right? And I feel like
Right.
our bodies within the game, the USGA, the World Golf Foundation, PGA Tour, PGA of America, I think they have an obligation to make a statement with who they have in seats, right? Put people in the seats
Yeah.
that mirror where we want the game to go. I don't think that's very difficult to
Right.
do. I'm sorry. Like, people's jobs come open every freaking so often, right? Hire somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think until golf is intentional, just as, our definition of patriotism is intentional, that's when we'll start to see the changes that people keep talking about over and over and over. But from the leisure standpoint, I feel golf has gotten way better from when I was a kid.
Yes.
I used to go to course when I was a kid, and you've been going to course for a long time too, Brice. I don't think a lot of people know your longevity in the game. You've been playing golf just as long as you've been playing football, if not longer, right?
Yeah. I played golf as a young kid. Yeah, my dad used to take me out. Yep.
Yeah. It's just I lost my train of thought. But it's just that I need to be able to go up to any golf course in public and be tendered or be taught by somebody that's brown. That should be a thing. Like
Right.
because that's going to help me stay away. I don't want black and brown people think all the time I got all these white people telling me what to do at school, over here, this, that, the third. Then you want to take up a game, and then you got to listen to another white dude tell you what to do. I'm not trying to be racist or
Right.
sound racist, but when you're a minority and you come from these diverse backgrounds, that's how you look at shit. That's just a fact.
Right.
You know.
Big facts.
Anyway, it's,
So yeah, I mean, to go along with what you said, not trying to be super long-winded. I mean, when you think about big changes happen, I always say, look at it as you're trying to lose weight. Me and you talked about that recently, right? You have to look at it like you have to look at it like a fat guy looks at it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's insensitive.
it's easy.
Right? It's insensitive.
That's
Fat
fine.
guys.
Because I was fat at the time too. It's okay. I lost my fat might be different in definition, just like patriotism might be different than you and me. Okay, so don't be upset at what I'm about to say. Okay,
Well played.
it's really easy to get yourself out of shape. It's really easy to get the country in a bad spot, but it takes baby steps and methodical planning and strategy to get it back to where you want it to be, or to get it back into a shape that it's never been in. And but everybody, Doug, and everybody listening knows, you saw how fast you got out of shape. You want to get back in shape just as fast, but it doesn't happen that way, and you get frustrated, and a lot of y'all quit because y'all suckers. And so we have to think about that too. Like, and we have to be more patient too. And I think sometimes we aren't patient enough because we're like, we've been here already. Like, we've been there. Like, I've been growing up. I was young. I couldn't go to the Atlanta Athletic Club because they used to be this way. Blase, blase, blah. And then now when they reach out, like my pops, we talked about in the last episode, he's like, nah, F y'all. I don't want to mess with y'all. But I think, it's two sides of the coin. You have to think about it on both sides of the spectrum. Like, the kid that's our age, Doug, that we might consider a certain way for predominantly all his life, and then he's trying to change, we have to be able to forgive him and allow him to, I would say, repent. Not repenting to us. We're not acting like we're gods or anything, but allowing that person to know that, hey, like, you know, you made a mistake, or you felt this certain type of way. You found out you're wrong. Obviously, it's going to take a long time to really get those foundational thoughts that you have, because it's not just one thing, right? It's a building. It's building blocks. We as the people that were marginalized have to be like, okay, just how we have to break out of trauma. A lot of us, like, you know, a lot of my family members, you know, people that I know, they have a hard time. They have a hard time being in positive situations because of all the trauma they've been in.
Yeah,
like that takes time.
That's deep. That's deep too.
Yeah, that's
you
real
can't
deep.
enjoy the positive, the good side of something because of all the bullshit you've had to beat through all these years. That's deep, Brice. But you know what? Other than the bullshit, as we're talking about patriotism, this is one of the worst transitions you'll ever hear in podcast media. The American Century Golf Tournament is coming up this week. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, it's like, speaking of patriotism, we got to get to the American Century. It's like, whoa, this don't even match, but I don't care. I'm sorry, I had to have fun in this moment. American Century, Brice, number one, are you playing? They called you yet? Your agent got it set up for you to play American Century?
They haven't called me yet. They haven't called me yet, Doug, but I know I will be there soon.
Watch his phone not ringing, people. Watch his phone.
Come on. When that happens, though, just know they will have waited too long. So whenever I get in there, I'm gonna be competing. I ain't gonna be like, Brice was there, but I don't see him on the leaderboard. By the time they hit me up, it's gonna be like, Brice, who's this guy? The pass in, the YouTube, the Birdies Not BS, he is balling. They're gonna be like, where's this guy come from? Because I'm just working on my game right now. So I'm actually, Doug, I know that's a very fun weekend. You know, I know a lot of buddies that are in it. You know, Steph, Reggie, Jerry. I know Larry, Pat. I've heard a lot about it, but I do know I want to be competitive. I don't want to go out there and just be out there. Like, I want to go out there and top 10. You know what I'm saying? Or win that thing. You know what I'm saying? So, especially for a guy like Tony Romo, who I told you played me when I was asking him about golf, you know, when I was in my third season in the league. So I'm going to go out there with half of those people never seeing me before and being on that leaderboard, and them having to come to me over a bottle of whiskey, wine, tequila, whatever, and be like, what's up, dog? You know what I'm saying? We see you. We got our eyes on you. We know you ain't here. You know, you ain't fugazi. You know, you ain't a fugazi, like they like to say up in New York. You out here really hitting that ball, putting that ball in the cup. You know, so I'm not worried about it. I know I'll get to it at some point. And when I get to it, y'all just better be ready. Right, but no, hold on. You should be there soon. You should be there now because you got a freaking show that's sanctioned by the PGA. The PGA
I'll be on property. I'll be on property for the American Century, but I will not be in the championship. Like Reverend Meek Mill said, there are levels to certain things. So I'm still on the first step of however many to be considered anything. You know, you got to do more than play golf poorly in professional instances to be invited to these.
I know, right.
Well, as you can see, Brice Butler's so dapper with his sombrero on and got his button up to the tip top, looking like he's straight out of L.A. It is time for us to get into our Fairway Fashion segment with Miss Taria Palmer. Take some time. You like it when I take. Fairway Fashion, here again, Birdies Not BS, the one and only. Taria Palmer, what's up, girl? How you doing?
That's right, one and only. I'm good. How are you?
I can't call it, man. I'm over here trying to get myself together. You know, it's hot out here in Phoenix, so trying to just, like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like you gotta decide on what color you're gonna wear, because I feel like I can't wear the blacks and the navies, and I can't do that right now. It's an inferno out here.
We love black and navy, right? Because those are just great classic colors, but they're just too hot. And they're too hot for what you're doing, which is golfing. So one color is like a marigold. It's like this really nice orange color that's cool. It's fashionable for this season. It was on all the runways. Every color that I'm gonna talk about was like dominating the runways, and you'll see in like almost any store that you go in. Another one is like a light blue, right? That's really, really big this season. I've seen it in suits. I've seen it in golf wear. I've seen it.
You gotta be more specific. We talking Carolina blue? Or we talking
so
sky blue? We talking
Carolina
about
blue.
seafoam blue?
Like Jay-Z said, Carolina Blue. You remember that? You was around for that. That Maya and Jay-Z remix with the jersey dress. I had a jersey dress. Did you?
I'm not gonna judge you.
Did you have any oversized jerseys, Doug?
Duh. It was a rite of passage. Right?
You had to be there. Like people. If you missed that era, I'm sorry. It was amazing. Another great color, and this is going to be a little bit hotter, so I would save this for like later in the summer where it's not as warm. It's like rust. That's a
like
really
burnt orange?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Burnt orange. I love that. It always looks very chic to me.
Taria, does white ever get its just due? Like, does white can I just wear white?
Yes, you
like,
can just
you know
wear.
What I mean?
You
like,
can wear white. You can wear all white. I love an all white look.
Like an all Caucasian outfit. I got it.
We were all Caucasian. Yeah, we were talking about the 2000s, that Diddy white party. We all remember that.
My invitation got lost in the mail.
Mine too.
Sorry.
Maybe next time. So another great color is like a mint green. I always, when I think of like golf clothes, I always like a mint green pops into my mind as something that would be like a great contrast.
Okay.
From the putting green. So mint green for sure is another. Yeah, and it's light. It's a light color. You're not gonna be too hot. Another color is, again, similar to what you're wearing, like burnt coral, like that salmon color. I love that. It's all in the stores this season. It's easy to find, and it always just looks really, I don't know, it makes people brings people alive. I love seeing people wear coral. And like salmon colors. So I would say those would be my top ones. I know a couple episodes ago we talked about pink.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask you about like the fuchsias and the purples. Is this the year for purples?
Oh yeah, all of those electric colors: blue, purple, pink.
That Miami Vice stuff, electric.
Yes.
Okay.
All in the stores. Those are my preferences. As you can see, I got a little electric blue going on here. It looks great, and it looks great on brown skin. All those bright colors, yellow, pink, like I said, electric blue, that electric like green color. All of those look amazing, and they help you stand out. So yeah, and they're not too hot. So yeah, I would check out all of those colors. Like I said, they're super fashionable. One of the barriers that you won't have to find is finding those in the stores because, like I said, they're the hot colors for the season. So check those out.
Well, there it is right here. Fairway Fashion. Birdies Not BS. Taria, we appreciate you. And how do people get a hold of you?
You can find me at _ the socialite on Instagram and at my fashion blog _ the conglomerate.
Big shout out to Taria Palmer coming in here, holding down as usual, trying to get us to look like Brice looks so very dapper with his sombrero on and his button up with I don't even know what pattern that is. I see some different directions of stripes here, Brice, but I love it. I wish I could pull off, the clothing choices that you do. But hey, thank everybody so much for rocking with us right here on Birdies Not BS. Brice Butler, I can't thank you enough coming in here, co-homieing with me for a couple episodes, man. Really appreciate it. Birdies Not BS. That's where you get us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And then birdiesnotbs.com. Brice, how do people get a hold of you, man? I know you got a lot of stuff going on. We got to give them channels.
Let me give you the channels. Instagram and Twitter is the same. Brice with an I _ Butler. And then the YouTube is Brice Butler Lifestyle.